In this video, we're going to be sharing really some nuanced YouTube strategy that's going to help you get more views in 2023. If you're here on the replay, I'm here with my friend Dan from vidIQ. We're going to be doing some channel reviews, some video reviews, but the details we're going to be discussing are worth watching this video until the end because we're going to be breaking down how you can better position your YouTube channel to get views. And we're going to be speaking to your individual videos, or rather some of the channels we'll be reviewing about how you can hold audience retention longer, start your videos out better. And there'll be a lot more tips like that. So hit the like button if you're fired up. And we're going to dive into the first channel in just a second. But I want to welcome Dan from vidIQ. Dan, how's it going? How was your Christmas?
It was great. It was great. Thank you for having me. And yeah, I hope yours was awesome. I hope everybody here had a great holiday season.
Yep. Yeah, let us know if you're here live how your holiday season was. And let's dive straight into this. I'm pulling channels off of our Video Ranking Academy group, which is our kind of YouTube group coaching program. And then also off of Twitter. You should be able to see a pinned comment, or we will repin it. And the queue of channels is probably already full, but definitely share your channel if you want to do that. And we're kicking it off with Marsha Vogel. And as we land on the channel here, I love it because immediately I knew it was about essential oils just from the thumbnails of the shorts. You can't actually upload thumbnails on shorts, but just those starting screenshots or whatnot. And then she says, "Array of Hope Essentials." A little more kind of inspirational type of title that's somewhat veiled. We do like to coach clarity is better than being clever, but the combination of essential oils here and essentials in the title kind of helped me make that connection. And it's cool to see that I think, okay, we do have videos and we do have shorts, and it seems to be that shorts were the prominent feature. As a reminder, one of the things to do as you get ready for 2023 is clean up your homepage and clean up the homepage of your channel. It seems that she chose her shorts shelf or her shorts playlist to be the first thing, then it's videos. Great. And let's one of the things we're also going to be doing today is some video reviews. And so her most recent upload 7 days ago there. Shorts is very hard to see, so we don't know when these came out. Okay, cool. Using a little bit of hamster dance song. We'll probably get copyright stricken 48 times in this video, but that's great. Let's check out this video.
Today we're going to make a delicious white chocolate peppermint flavored popcorn that is delicious, and it makes a great gift too. So
really good. Looks like also it's sort of like starting with the final result here. You have the popcorn. That's great. And you've got and then you cut back, and it's a really good hook. So way to get straight to the point, not waste any time right at the beginning, and then get into the recipe. You know, a couple thoughts here is that, you know, people have different preferences. People love authenticity. But I do notice that there's just stuff in the shot that's distracting. The cloth over here, the towel over here, maybe for cleaning the countertops. Some of the stuff over here, and then even the sign of our kitchen, the framing of the shot. I think that the visual aesthetics of a shot, we always say start before you're ready, punch fear in the face, press record, but you do want to get 1% better with every upload. So the camera is a little low and shooting up at you. It's also kind of off kilter. It's super oriented to the right, showing the our kitchen sign. And so there's plenty of things to distract me in the shot. Typically, if your goal is to have the camera a little bit at eye contact, at eye level or slightly above and pointed down, becomes a more flattering shot as well. So one of the things to do potentially is to invest in maybe a tripod this season if you don't have one that can go tall enough. So sometimes they're too short. So you look at one that's maybe 60, 70, 75 inches, 80 inches as far as how high it can go. And just be thoughtful of your shot composition. Just one way to improve the video. And then I'm also noticing the audio here, and not too bad. You can definitely hear you, but it seems like
we're going to take
on-camera audio. It sounds better once you get behind the camera because I'm sure you're closer to the microphone. So just other little things like knowing that a lav mic, if you have a mic input in whatever camera or into your phone, that's like a $12 to $19 investment that could help the audio as well. I love that you've got multiple B-roll things happening here, and it looks like you've embedded closed captions, or rather you've just
to dress it up.
yeah,
Got
you
the peppermint brownie
embedding
video I
closed
just made?
captions is pretty cool because this is not YouTube's closed captions, so that's a good way to deliver that information and help the viewer. There's a lot of data that shows us that closed captions are really great. And one of the things we finally say before any of Dan's thoughts on the channel is success leaves clues, make part twos. And so at Think Media here, we teach, answer specific questions. And then we also teach, okay, ask this question when you're creating your next video. What is my audience's biggest problems and pains? And what are their biggest ambitions? What's interesting to me is your most viewed video only 2 months ago, and it's still getting 13 views per hour. And what's cool is with vidIQ installed, we can see these extra data points with trending and stats. We can see that it's still getting 13 views per hour, the VPH, the velocity. It's 2 months old, but it's actually about pain. Like I don't mean actually to be that meta that like there are pains, but think when people have pains, in this case, muscle cramps, they really want to solve those pains. So how to easily and naturally stop muscle pain and sleep better. That is what my desires to sleep better. I want to relieve pain. It ties exactly into what you're doing.
Found yourself just
I think that's a really good hook again here.
drifting off to sleep. And all of a sudden you get...
It's amazing, Marsha. You're casting the vision. I have found myself, and I'm not sleeping good now. I need your help, Marsha. Tell me what I need to do.
Tightening in here, Kat.
So good. And so then we've got all that happening. One other thought is I would assume you're a distributor of doTERRA, which is a network marketing company. My wife and I actually love doTERRA. I love the Breathe. I got to get some for my office here. And if possible, I'd be thoughtful about thinking, what do you want to happen? Can I order exactly what you're teaching on here easily? And I have to dig pretty deep in your description to find it. I eventually find your diffuser down here. And so now I would imagine, yep, this is your store. So I could go a little deeper. But even this, so this point would be, we like to say, like, what is the viewer journey, or what is even like the customer journey? If someone wanted to do business with you, whether that's an affiliate product or something. When I land on here, it says, whoops, your link is expired. So that sort of breaks the chain. While you're here, shop the system. Well, now I'm confused. Discover doTERRA. I don't want to just go on a new journey. I want the exact thing that you're leading me to. The roller ball press is here. So that's nice. But when I get here, great. So if you talk about that in the video. So all that to say is, like, we like to think about maybe having a link above the fold and making it as easy as possible for whatever it is you're sharing about to help people, whether it's a product through your company, whether it's an affiliate product, whether it's your own thing you've created, whether it's a link to another video. I just like to have a clickable link in the top 3 lines, not just to fill it with something random, to actually fill it with something intentional that you communicate in the video. But Dan, is there anything you're noticing here on Marsha's channel?
So in the popcorn video, I was looking around and I noticed, by the way, really strong content. I just think that the focus here is really, really good. There's a lot of things going on that are right. I thought the title was a bit long, and you'll notice a really big difference in the title of that really popular video you just pulled up and this one. So how to make white chocolate peppermint. I think it was peppermint popcorn. And then at the end of it, it said a simple snack that anyone can enjoy. And I think you basically have 2 titles there, and you could have combined them really well, kind of like you do with this: how to easily and naturally stop muscle cramps to sleep better. Like you're saying you have an easy, natural solution to a problem. And with the popcorn thing, I think it's kind of similar. You have a simple way to make a delicious treat. And I think you ended up with like 2 titles in the end. So I would always be kind of thinking about the part of the title that's going to get truncated. You want to try to avoid that at all costs. But if you have to have a long title, what's the most important bit? What's the bit that if someone stops scrolling because of your thumbnail, they read the title and they're like, oh, simple white chocolate pop. Yeah, I want to know how to do it. And it sounds pretty easy. So I'm going to check it out. But the part that made it sound easy was kind of hidden. So, and that's just a nitpick for an otherwise really, really strong channel.
Yeah, and one kind of cool thing, I mean, today's video is brought to you by vidIQ, and if you want to check out vidIQ, you could do a 30-day trial of one of the paid plans for just $1 at vidIQ.com/think. One of my favorite tools in here is the AI title recommendations. And just for fun, let's type in how to make white chocolate peppermint popcorn, which is the beginning of your title. And now check out the AI title recommendations here. How to make white chocolate peppermint popcorn the easy way. So how to really clear, a little bit of energy, the exclamation. All right, how to make white chocolate peppermint popcorn, simple, without a stove or an oven. This also, what's kind of cool about this is these aren't just title ideas. They actually, if you do this ahead of time, these are video ideas.
Oh yeah.
Because if you want to stand out and get views in 2023, and you're thinking it's too crowded, the riches are in the niches, they say in online business. And it's okay, how to make something, what is the desire, but also then with limitation. So I remember back in the day, I did a baked salmon video when I was experimenting with all kinds of videos, how to bake salmon in an oven with a tinfoil boat. That's where we're talking about like distinctions. You'd call them long tail keywords. And so maybe there's a lot of competition around just making the popcorn, but you very specifically, we say answer specific questions. The specific word means like not just make the stuff, but without a stove or an oven or over a fire, or with limited, resources. And so the perfect winter treat. This is like, I love this tool because it's kind of giving you that search-based, intent-based, speak to YouTube, speak exactly to the desire, but also put some kind of energy on there. And then you can also just generate new ideas and go pretty deep down the rabbit hole, the perfect Christmas gift, like different ways that you can find. So that's one cool tool in there. And with that, we're going to jump over next to Twitter, where some channels have been submitted, and we're going to go with Gone to the Snow Dogs here in just in order of how the tweets are showing up for me. Now, I love Gone to the Snow Dogs. Back in the Clubhouse days, we would be hanging out all the time in Clubhouse rooms during the pandemic. And so this is a really cool channel. And I think, if I recall, that there was also a Shorts channel separate. So we have 7 uploads, 1.7 million views, and on channel Snow Dogs, there's 100,000 subscribers here. I don't know if this is just Shorts. 5 months ago there, lots of Shorts over here. So I remember back in Shorts, people were like, should you split the channel? Should you all keep it on one channel? Dan, what do you think? Before we get into the channel, the question of should you separate Shorts and Longs in 2023? What's your thoughts?
If you're starting now, no. If the content, in my opinion, if the content is similar to the audience you're already catering to with your long form content or vice versa, you should take advantage of the fact that YouTube's basically given us 3 channels in one. We have long videos, we have live streams, and we have shorts. So starting now, yes, the channel we just looked at already had a shorts channel with 100,000 subscribers. And so in that sense, I wouldn't necessarily change anything because that's awesome. Like, it looks like they are uploading some shorts to it now, but I think having another channel that got you a silver play button is a badge of honor, and that's great. And you probably built up an audience over there, but there's nothing wrong with it. I just think if you're trying to grow one channel, if you have a desire to get a bunch of subscribers and views, and you're trying to build up an audience organically, you can definitely use shorts now to do that. It was not the case back in the day, though, Sean. If you remember, like, there was kind of a disconnect there between shorts and long form videos, and YouTube has admitted now that, hey, there was a disconnect. We have now made a connection, and we want you to post everything on one channel because it's going to start recommending your long form videos to your shorts viewers.
Yeah, and they're putting in the work because you've got the Snow Dogs shorts with Gone with the Snow Dogs, the brand, and they did just upload on December 28th yesterday.
Okay.
You've also got the vlog channel with 351,000 subscribers. You've also got Snow Dogs Cooking, and you've also got Gone to the Snow Dogs. This is a Snow Dog empire.
Yes.
And so what I think is interesting about that strategically for everybody watching, though, is that if you're pumping out content, especially like in vlogs, the opportunity, especially around what topic, what niche, you have something, animals, that is incredible. Snow Dogs, it's a whole separate passion. Cute moments that are happening, you're also capturing constantly. So if you're not in a vlog lifestyle, you're not really capturing random stuff constantly, but they are. So you could be editing your vlog and be like, that could be a short. You could be editing, one of your main videos or whatever. And so I think that this is kind of a unique case study to learn from an all-in perspective of how you can DJ your content out on multiple platforms. But let's try to find our way back to the main channel. 1 million subscribers out here. And we've got about 1.7 million views a month. I'm curious why I know that this doesn't always necessarily load properly, but I wonder why it's not growing there. This is one of my favorite tabs with vidIQ that it adds to anybody's channel. So you could, of course, see this kind of information on the back end of your YouTube channel, but you essentially could like spy on your competitors by seeing which videos have velocity. And this would be one thing I say to you. I know that, Jess, your channel's entertainment based. You're pumping out content. So many people are subscribed for the story and for the journey. But if there's a moment you lean in, Think Media podcast community, this is the moment. I know there's different YouTube philosophies, but this trending page in your analytics, it would be your real-time views, is the game of, I believe, avoiding burnout, having a channel that lasts, building a real sustainable business on YouTube, really actually cracking the code of YouTube. I get it. You can constantly chase virality, but there's something so powerful about views on your older videos 24/7, 365. So to illustrate what I'm seeing on the trending page here is this is a 1 million subscriber channel, but there's not a lot of videos here. 12 days ago, this video is still getting clicked on probably by subscribers and browse features. 3 days ago, these are new videos. But the two videos that are super interesting to me is this video 7 months old and it still gets 40 views an hour. The reason I love this is when I look at this channel, this is just my perspective. I'm curious, Dan will share in a second. This seems like a lot of work, which is fine. We're not afraid of work, but just a lot of videos, a lot of things to upload. But if you create a video 7 months ago and it gets you 40 views per hour today, then you can take a week off during Christmas and still have your channel be growing.
Oh, yeah.
This one's 2 months old and it's still getting views. So if we flip it, and really the Think Media methodology is we create intent-based or search-based content. And what I would ask you to consider is that it's not either or. Like, you can create search-based videos that continue to be recommended and suggested for years if you just do it intentionally, and it won't be off brand. You can still vlog, you could still do all the stuff. It's just a way of thinking. So by comparison, if we go to Think Media's trending page here using this tool, this is how many videos we have that, and by the way, it goes much deeper than this because the lowest amount of views per hour on this page is 26. So imagine just getting 1 view per hour. That's 24 views a day. Imagine getting a half a view an hour. That's 12 views a day, even if you posted the video a year ago. And so, yes, this was posted 8 days ago, so it's still getting recommended browse features. But we got 2 months, a year, 2 years. We've got 9 months old. We've got 2 years old. So maybe one of the biggest thoughts, because you're obviously able to create content, you have really great thumbnails, you got 1 million subscribers, you got a gold play button. I mean, you're killing it. You're killing the game. But when I look at your monthly views and it's 1.7 million, also respect total, but it's like just the amount of hustle you have to continue to put in. I would just be thoughtful of how can I create videos today that give me leverage so that my channel grows whether I post new content or not. And so looking at some of these metrics, I think, is kind of important on the back end, because it looks like, right now we're about 4.5 million views a month on Think Media. And it's not because like our new videos are necessarily getting massive views. And a lot of people get tricked by this. They're like, why aren't your videos getting views? You're like, well, there's different ways to approach it. And you're like, you might only see 24,000 views today on that 6-day-old video. But the thing is, in 2.5 years from now, that video will still be getting 24 views a day. And we keep posting videos. So the entire channel just multiplies and grows. So if you could kind of get some of that thinking into your 2023 strategy, I think you could create a lot more, as our friend Sonny Lenarduzzi says, views while you snooze. And that's kind of the dream. Dan, what do you think about the channel?
I love this channel. And I think a direction they can go in if they're looking to implement that strategy would be to take a look at these more popular videos. And I noticed one big difference in the one that you said was getting 40 views an hour still, even though it was 7 months old. And that was that in that video, they were teaching their dog how to swim. And I'm not a dog owner, but I have to imagine that dog owners in general, this is probably something they're interested in. And I think there was probably some value in this video for people who have huskies or other dog breeds who would like to teach them how to swim. Whereas some of the more recent videos, and I think you should do both, some of the more recent videos are you just kind of enjoying time with your pets, opening presents, things like that. So to me, there's like a clear difference. This is the more search driven kind of strategy here. And I think it's catering to a much wider audience. And then the other videos are more for your close knit community, people who are just fans of you, fans of your pets, dog owners themselves, and they're just kind of enjoying life with you. There's merit to both styles of content, but I think these types of videos where you're teaching your dogs how to swim, this appeals to a lot of people. This opens up the door really wide to not even just husky owners, like just dog owners in general.
I would also say, again, talking about learning points and for our entire community here, it is cool that you got a pinned comment linking to a kit.co, which is a place where you can aggregate affiliate links with pool and swimming fun stuff for dogs. So the strategy is thinking, okay, how do I create, a video that adds value related to my niche, my passion, my dogs, my family, that definitely has evergreen properties to it, clearly, because it continues to give views. And even the newest comment was 2 months ago, and the video is 7 months old. So you could see it continues to have new people engaging with it. But just, I think a lot of people miss out on the opportunity of using the pinned comment. And most people either don't do it at all or don't do it strategically. And so, but with that, I mean, again, like we're here to hopefully just add a little bit of value. You're absolutely smashing, and you should be incredibly proud of everything that you're doing. I also, not only are you seeing the pin comment, another thing people miss out on is using their community tab. It looks like you're doing daily posts on the community tab with a variety of posts. Great square image here, carousel, actually very cute. That's awesome. And then also having a poll here, just the Merry Christmas shout out. I think you're using it right, because also I don't think it's necessary to be constantly pushing like calls to action. It's not bad. This would be the way to do it. Upload a square image and then have a YouTube link like this. That's the best way to share a video. So that is for sure best practice. But remembering that the community tab is this chance to make a more emotional, more personal connection with your audience. And now the community tab is basically opening up to everybody. I mean, I've heard channels with 23 subscribers. You got to do a couple things in the back end, and then you can kind of get it. So there's a tip for 2023. Start using your community tab. And then, Dan, I don't know if it's necessary to use hashtags here. And also the problem with hashtags, in my opinion, they can look kind of messy. And they actually can lose their functionality, because the real key is you're like, okay, so what's even the point of that? Is it going to get more reach on the post? I don't think it is, but it's clickable. So then you go, okay, I'm on go to the snow dogs. If I click Merry Christmas, am I going to stay on go to the snow dogs and actually go deeper on your channel? Apparently not. I'm going to actually get distracted by Mariah Carey, and now I'm singing the top Christmas songs. So clickable hashtags can be dangerous unless you're using a clickable hashtag that actually potentially builds your brand. Dan, what do you think about this?
I would love to talk to YouTube about hashtags and learn where they're going with them, because I've also noticed something else. If you upload a short from your phone, by the way, earlier you mentioned picking thumbnails for your shorts. This is another thing that you can do. If you upload a short from your phone, you can freeze frame a thumbnail now. This is like a new feature. And I was playing with this tool over the weekend, and I also noticed that they were suggesting hashtags for me to put in my title, just like Instagram does, just some hashtags I can click on and add to my title. And because I'm starting to notice people are using hashtags in their titles of shorts, not just hashtag shorts, like all kinds of stuff. And I'm telling people don't do that. And then YouTube is like encouraging it. So I don't know what exactly that means, but I agree with you in the sense that right now, hashtag functionality makes 0 sense in terms of growth. Because if you click on those, like we just saw, you come to a page and it's the top videos that have used that hashtag and not your content. So what I've always done is I've made hashtags that are very, very specific to my channel. and I have those kind of automatically in every video. So hopefully if someone clicks on it, now they're introduced with a library of my videos. And if someone else has jumped on the hashtag, they're probably not going to be able to compete with the sheer amount of content that I've used that hashtag with in the past. And that's how I've always used them on YouTube. They make a lot of sense to me on places like Instagram. They don't make any sense on YouTube, but I have just a curiosity. Is that changing in 2023 based on YouTube kind of pushing us like, hey, you should use these in your short titles? I'm like, why? Tell us more, YouTube. So I don't know. I'm more pondering out loud.
That's a really good prediction to prepare for is, subscribe if you're not subscribed here on the Think Media podcast channel, because things are always changing. And I would agree with that. Like I did a video yesterday on a reacting to a Fast Company article. My 3 hashtags, because they are clickable right next to, they moved them. They're no longer above the title, which is probably a little bit better for not distracting the viewer. You have your views, you have your upload date, and then you've got any hashtags in the description that become clickable. I use Sean Cannell, makes sense, and kind of a rare name. I use Think Media Podcast and then Think Media. And the key is to go test it. So if you click on your hashtag, like Dan does the same thing, chances are other people could try to use the Think Media Podcast hashtag, but it's dominated. What would even be the point? It wouldn't be their brand. And so the goal currently, I would say the goal of hashtags is more of like a way to aggregate your content so people could click that and then find other cool stuff that they might be interested from your world. And here's some shorts, maybe a few other non-Think Media people through Think Media Podcast as a hashtag, but you can see we also have those. And that's another one. That's one thing we want to do on this channel in 2023, start uploading more shorts here. A couple a week is the goal. All right, we're going to get into another channel in just a second. If you have a question generally about YouTube, put 4 question marks before and after the question. Hit like if you've been getting value in this video. Dan's got a channel he's going to be leading off with. He also has a real expertise in gaming. But today's video is also brought to you by vidIQ. If you haven't picked up your 30-day trial of vidIQ's paid plan yet, just $1 for 30 days, vidIQ.com/think. We just were talking about the daily ideas tool. There's another cool tool, which is the AI description tool. You may have been seeing things like Chat GPT. In fact, a little bit later, Dan's going to be showing us a new tool that vidIQ has that is like an AI coach that will help you, understand YouTube better. But yesterday, as I was putting out this trends video, I kept the description pretty simple and had a link to a free class that we're doing that's on replay right now. I threw a link to the article I was referencing. I did my time codes. I threw my podcast in there. I repeated Think Media Podcast, and I should have just done Think Media. And then this is actually some copy, some text that vidIQ description tool spun up for me. So I just clicked the button, and in this video, we'll give you a rundown of the top 4 trends to watch for in the creator economy in 2023. What's the point here? This is some like search-based, text-based. As the internet continues to evolve, the creator economy is going to become increasingly important. So by quickly just reinforcing my video with text, in this video, we're going to share the top 4 trends with you. And so anyways, just a really cool tool that you can check out. You can get a 30-day trial of vidIQ with some of those tips. And I'll show you it in here too now that it's in here. I'm logged in our other channel. But see, it says AI description generator. It wants some keywords. This Wu-Tang Clan, this is a short coming out. One lesson I learned from the Wu-Tang Clan. Let's see what it does with this. And so you can throw your title in there. In this video, we take a look at one YouTube lesson learned from the Wu-Tang Clan. This lesson is on the importance of creating a strong YouTube presence and cultivating a dedicated fan base. And so you could just insert it or copy it and paste it wherever you want in the description. That's going to be give you a marginal increase. Of course, your click-through rate, your average view duration. But what shocks me is, Michael Jordan said, master the fundamentals and everything else you do will rise. If YouTube gives me tags to put in there, I want to use that right. If YouTube gives me a description, I want to use that right. If they give me hashtags, I want to use those right. I want my title to be the best it could be. I want, of course, my thumbnail and all those details to be the best they could be. And what's cool is that with AI, this takes 1 second. So if all things created equal are you don't do this and I do this, Well, it gives me that advantage that I can literally do in 1 second. And so AI is a cool discussion in general because there's so much wild stuff happening with it. But I love to see that vidIQ is including those AI types of things that have been happening. And so with that, Dan, let's hit a question. How important is it for you to establish you as a person when starting a channel if your channel is around finances? So I think Alan's saying, how important is it to build authority or to have a personal brand if you're talking about finances? Dan, any thoughts?
So how important is to establish you as a person when starting a channel? Sorry, you were talking about AI stuff and I started experimenting in the background.
Yeah, no problem. I'll smash it. I'll come back to you. I would say that one of the important things, Alan, and everybody watching on YouTube, depending on the niche, but really for almost every niche, especially if you're an educator. So let's speak to education, because in entertainment, it's either is the video funny, they're not asking too many questions about you, you just grab their attention right at the beginning. I would say it's pretty important, Alan, to establish authority. Now, you're also not trying to fake it till you make it. You're not trying to lie. But if you're about to share with finances, in some cases, I think about like my friend Andre Jick. He actually is pretty bold to say, listen, this is not financial advice. I love to research. He even kind of jokes. He's like, I'm actually kind of like an idiot and I'm here to present the news to you. And so he wants to be thoughtful. And by the way, he's grown a massive channel because he's consolidating, he's curating, and he is taking action and he's sharing his mistakes. Another channel, one of our recent Video Ranking Academy students, Larry Chung, he's a chartered financial analyst. And so I think that's kind of some important information to know because he also then has a newsletter about finances. So I think it's a self-awareness thing. But I also think that establishing your authority is a big deal because people are asking the question, why can I trust you or why should I trust you? Now, a problem that people have with this is they sometimes think it comes off as bragging, but it's not bragging, it's branding. And it is, if relationships move at the speed of trust, for you to have a relationship with the viewer, giving them a few signals and signs that they can trust you is a powerful thing to do. So a little formula we like to use or a framework is you don't want to take 10 years doing this. That'll bore people to death. But some things you can insert here is how much experience do you have? So you're like, I've been working at a bank. I've been working at a stock investing firm. I've been studying and researching financial markets for 5 years. So the amount of time you've done something can be an authority piece. This is why it can be powerful to write a book. So if I say, hey, Sean Cannell here, best-selling author of the book, YouTube Secrets. I think it's the #1 best-selling YouTube strategy book in the world with like over 80,000 copies sold. And in this video, I want to get into, it's kind of like, you're kind of bragging about your book, but it's also like, well, I wrote a book, and it's also done incredibly well. So do you have, hey, and then maybe titles would be another one. So have you created something? You might even say, hey, Sean Cannell here, creator of the Video Ranking Academy, author of YouTube Secrets, and founder of Think Media. So those things also might not mean much to someone, but in one sentence, you're like, okay, you actually have done a few things. And so this is not suggesting that for you to start creating YouTube content that you have to be an expert or have a long list of letters after your name. But it is asking, how can you be thoughtful, especially if you're going to be teaching or talking about finances, to build as much trust and authority with the viewer as possible? And so those are a few thoughts of what I would do there. Dan, can you pull up, or I'll pull up your channel that you linked for me, and we'll jump to yours in a second. If you're getting value, smash the like button. It is a happy new year here at Think Media. And Dan has pulled up a channel called Brown Coat. Let me get the link because I'm on the wrong browser. Microsoft Edge forces itself on me whenever I open links from Slack. And so here we are. We're on a Minecraft channel, and we're on the proper browser. Dan, take it away.
Yeah, so Brown Coat, I did see this channel from Twitter and I thought, okay, let's see what we got. And I was very impressed with the sheer amount of subscribers and the videos they made, the dedication to this game is very, very popular. And one that a lot of people fear is too saturated, right? Oh, Minecraft is way too. How am I supposed to grow a channel? This person is doing just that. And as you can see here in the popular tab, they got a lot of awesome success with command blocks. Specifically, they seem to be all in on this item. For those of you who don't know, it's a block in the game that you can add in, and you can code it to kind of do all sorts of crazy things. So there's a lot of different tutorials and different opportunities this channel has to take this very complex item and show people just what it's capable of. And so in this video we're looking at now, which was very popular, how to get superpowers in Minecraft with command blocks, like dead simple title, really like on the surface, a simple concept for a very complex thing that they're going to teach. So videos like this can bring a lot of value to people. So if you have an expertise in the game you're playing, you can see how that can translate. Now, what they're doing lately is still with command blocks, but something is not working for them as well as it did back then. And I was kind of thinking about this before we went live. And what I want to say about this is, like, for example, Harry Potter spells. Learn to master 8 Harry Potter spells in Minecraft. Now, what is the difference between that title and the video we just saw with over 100,000 views? And the difference is the focus is no longer command blocks, despite them being in the thumbnail. You made the focus of the title of this video mastering Harry Potter spells, which everyone knows are not actually in the game. So you kind of got away from showing me something that is going to register in my brain as like, oh, I can add Harry Potter spells to Minecraft. Instead, you made it look like you're playing a totally different game, or maybe a modded version of Minecraft. So you've just kind of narrowed your audience, in my opinion, a bit much there. So I would have just reframed that video, adding Harry Potter spells to Minecraft. And I kind of wonder if that would have changed things for you. But then the other thing I wanted to point out about this journey you're on with command blocks is that the more specific you get with adding Thor superpowers and this, that, and the other, the farther away you get from the new player, the person who just got Minecraft for the first time and they're barely even learning what command blocks are. I think you should do both. I think you should be catering to these really interesting trending topics. If there's a new Thor movie coming out, then yes, if you know how to add Thor powers using command blocks, do the Thor video. But also keep in mind that you can do a whole series on the basics of command blocks. You could do a whole series where command blocks are solving problems for players that they're having in the game. And I know, as a Minecraft player myself, I know you have to like spawn them in. You have to kind of cheat to put them in the game. But once they're there, they're very complicated. It's just a text window. Like, there's so much you can teach people with this thing, because it literally just opens up a text window. You're like, what do I do with this? And the instructions have never been super clear, in my opinion. So if you have this expertise, which clearly you do, I would be trying that 2-pronged strategy of get the new people who are playing this game for the first time with those really early videos, early in terms of their experience with command blocks, and then get those super fans who are really into like what is basically mods that you're adding into Minecraft without actually modding the game. Really impressive. And then the last point I wanted to make before throwing it back to you, Sean, was that some of their thumbnails in these more popular videos are very vibrant, very colorful, very appealing, while some of the thumbnails they've done on more recent videos are missing something. They're lacking a certain level of polish. They're not standing out as much. They're using like dark backgrounds. And that was something that kind of stood out to me as well. You have kind of characters wearing dark robes on a dark background. Sometimes you're just using a straight black background with some text. You're kind of letting the text be the hero of the thumbnail. So be thinking about that too. Like, look at the Minecraft videos that are standing out today and compare your thumbnails to theirs. And you'll notice right away the level of work they're putting into making sure these thumbnails are colorful and vibrant. And look at these ones. We're getting 3,000 views on these videos, and just the ones at the top of the screen there, with fantastic, vibrant thumbnails. So just a few things I noticed while digging through this channel.
And just a thought too is that YouTube recently rolled out the channel update and the app update. Dark mode is now the default. So of course people can override and go back into light mode, but this black background on dark mode you'd see these items, but it wouldn't have a key word in making your thumbnails clickable and stand out: contrast. So just a thought. Again, that's how many of the viewers are going to have dark mode versus light mode. Well, by default, it's going to be more dark because most people will probably never change it. Once they update their app, that'll be true. So it's a very tactical nuance to be aware of in a new year. And yeah, other than that, really great advice to our resident gaming expert, Dan. The other thing that I love to point out here is this is actually my advice to gaming channels. Probably what I see the most, and I think Dan sees it a lot too, is that a lot of people are like, I want to start a gaming channel and I want to get famous, and I'm just doing random playthroughs. The thumbnails are kind of mediocre. The titles are maybe kind of mediocre. Part 1, part 2, part 3, and they upload 40, a 40-hour game. They upload 40 playthroughs, and everyone's trying to do that because what a dream to be able to just do playthroughs and get views. And it's not suggesting that that can't work. But if you put in a little bit more work and actually do value-based content, this is actually what we would summarize as TSS, teach specific skills, or answer specific questions, because people say, how do I use custom NPCs in Minecraft? And to my overall perception of the channel as well is that when we just look at the stats, like, you're crushing 154,000 views, up 4%, subscribers are up. And so on a macro, it's always looking at the channel. Yes, definitely some incredible tips from Dan of some of these past bangers and how can we recreate those. And then one other thing to echo, to just kind of put it in language we like to use. Not only do we say success leaves clues, make part twos, but it just came to me now that another thing we love to say is success leaves clues, make part twos, and then turn it into a series of part 3s and 4s. So I didn't know about command blocks, but you just unlocked a nugget there that if you take, okay, you really understand the viewer, the creator who understands the viewer best wins. You understand their desires, that they want command blocks, and maybe steer away from trying to go super trendy with tying it into Harry Potter. And this could be a 5, 10, 15, 20 part series. Over the next couple months, you do all 20 of those parts. Your playlist strategy is dialed. The videos are dialed. You put all the research and all the work into the videos and you build them up. You've built this probably unbreakable series that might lift the bedrock of your channel to 500,000 views a month. Have those videos bring in a lot of new people. And then as you do other types of topics and whatnot, your subscribers are growing, your views are growing. The key takeaway there would be the series strategy. Don't ask what video should I make next. Ask what series should I make next? Next channel. So we're looking at Learn Romanian with Karina. One basic thing that I noticed right off the bat, I see that you've got underscores in your handle. That's also not my favorite, but that's fine. I would delete the underscores out of your YouTube channel name. Little thing, it's probably not going to make your channel grow or not, but it just sort of looks just strange in my opinion. And it would just kind of be cleaner, more professional to have just delete those. Easy to do. Doesn't really change much. Secondly, you do have the opportunity to upload a channel cover and it just is not here. So we're not seeing it. So just thinking about, for all of us, ask yourself, Think Media podcast community, when was the last time you did a winter cleanup of your YouTube channel? What do I mean? Cover, avatar, about page, nothing there. Links that overlap to your social media accounts or to an email list or something else. Playlists with great optimized titles, which are on the homepage of your YouTube channel. I mean, we were just talking about this with Kyle, and Nolan and Kyle are now kind of directing Think Media on the Think Media team. And the homepage channel trailer for unsubscribed viewers, return main video for subscribed viewers, which by the way, the difference there is you can do a channel trailer and then a featured video for returning subscribers. This is in your channel customization. And then your feature selection. So your homepage is, do you want videos? Do you link to another channel? Do you have a short shelf? And then thinking, how am I categorizing the videos on my channel? So like we have a series on cameras for dummies. We have a lighting series. We even have playlists that are optimized like this called camera tutorials and best tips and tricks. The ZV-E10, all in one playlist. Canon M50, all in one playlist. Sony ZV-1, all in one playlist. So I share all that too, because obviously, again, we're much further along, but I like to think about, okay, on your homepage, just a few things you could do. You probably make a lot of progress and just set a block in your calendar for an hour to just kind of clean up your channel and think about not just created playlists, but potentially having different featured sections. And then probably the biggest takeaway of all of that is it makes you think different, because we're having this conversation right now, or it should, meaning, well, I don't even really have any playlists because I don't even really have any series. So then the goal is to trigger, okay, great. So then this next year, when you're building it out, the first R in our 7R system is start with the end in mind, reverse engineer. If I'm reverse engineering and I'm starting with the end in mind and say, okay, cool. So what would make this the perfect Romanian channel? What are the 10 basic questions? Is that a series? And you go, okay, well, it's going to take me a while to build that out, but I'm going to think, what would my perfect YouTube channel look like in 6 months? And if I work back from that, which videos would I upload? What content would I upload that I could then organize as things evolve? All right, let's dive into this. And let's actually give it a little click here on the newest video and check it out.
Here are some wishes you can send to your Romanian friends and family, to your partner, and even to your Romanian boss on December 21st this year. Hi, Romanian lover. My name's Karina.
Really good. Definitely following best practice. You have a hook, exactly what it is, then quickly introducing yourself, very warm, good communicator on camera.
Romanian as a second language is my thing.
I love that. It would seem you're using very simple gear, because it's probably your phone. Way to punch, just to use the gear you have, and getting that light in before the sun sets. It would seem that maybe the sun is setting, but you still got some window light, and that's amazing. So good there. Practically, and I don't know if you worked, got off work, still got the video in. I want to send you massive love and respect for doing that. But the more light, the better that your camera will look. And it looks actually totally fine, but it breaks down a little bit. Cameras, they get the image quality just breaks down when they don't have enough light, smartphone cameras. So just a thought, and thinking about maybe tools that we invest in as we get ready for a new year is a simple softbox light kit. Man, these days you can get like one softbox light kit for $40, a great one. And then it gives you the ability, because I know a lot of us in the Think Media community are busy, and you maybe do need to film when it's dark and film in your basement or set up some kind of a setup. So lighting is just helpful.
Here are
there.
10
The more
plus
the better,
Romanian
typically.
wishes you can copy paste and send to your Romanian people out there on New Year's Eve. Make sure you keep watching until the end, because I've prepared some wishes you can send to your significant other, and I also prepared some wishes you can send to your friends and family if you want to just sound funny in Romanian. La mulți ani!
All right. Now, I would say, if we break this down, yes, you gave a good hook. You introduced yourself. You did tell us to watch till the end. But there's a promise in your title. And then we don't actually get to the New Year's greetings in Romanian until 0:48. So 48 seconds is how long I have to wait until I actually get to the promise of the title. One of the things we just talked about in our big 5 trends to pay attention to is the 8-second rule. The 8-second rule, I actually believe, was discovered by UI UX designers, user interface, user experience designers on web pages. And it's based on the bounce rate of web pages, that if someone lands on a web page, they don't get what they want, they're confused. There was actually a study done that said if Amazon's website lags just 1 second, they can lose up to $1.8 billion, which is crazy. How impatient are you that like, oh, it's not loading, I'm not even going to buy this, I'm going somewhere else, I'm going to bestbuy.com, forget you, Amazon. So what's the principle? The principle is, and I've got a practical tip here for you, is that we do want to cut to the chase. We do want to trim the fluff. I actually don't think, the practical tip is, I don't think any of this is bad. I think your answer is chapters. I think you go chapters and time codes, and your chapters become even just, they could just be number 1, number 2, number 3. And when you scroll over a video to redo your chapters, because you've done such great titles, you could just go 0. I can see them like 049, the first New Year's greeting, 2, 120, the second New Year's greeting. And then someone can literally, the fear is like, oh, is this going to kill watch time or hurt my channel? Like, I don't think it actually can. What I actually think it'll do is it increases it, because people who would have normally bounced, not just watch the beginning, they click to the first one, they get the point, they might skip past it, but you still keep them longer. But even if you don't, viewer satisfaction goes higher. I always like to think about what's best for the viewer, not what's best for you. And holding people hostage usually doesn't make friends. And so ultimately, just thinking about, I think time codes and chapters could be helpful. Dan, I'm curious your thoughts, but one thing that does confuse me, and I'm assuming that what I guess I'm assuming is that your target audience is English speakers, because that's how you start, that are trying to learn Romanian, and it's learn Romanian with Karina, which is all fine. But I always get a little uncomfortable if we're trying to have a Romanian audience. It might be obvious enough. I don't think we are, because if you are Romanian, you probably already know Romanian. And so what are your thoughts, though, based on that or anything else happening here on this channel?
Yeah, it's a bit curious. Oh, I'm getting an echo. Are you getting that? Oh, I think it's gone. It's a bit curious, because I kind of wonder what the ceiling is on this content. English speakers looking to learn Romanian, I'm sure that's a thing. I'm just wondering, maybe are they kind of modeling this channel off of another type of channel that teaches Romanian? And then what's that channel kind of doing? Because the video we just watched seemed very specific, right? It was, if you have family and friends and you want to give them very specific greetings for the new year, here's some suggestions. So it's now I'm wondering, it's not just people who want to learn Romanian, it's people who actually have friends and relatives that speak Romanian and they're trying to communicate with them, which I kind of think is a different thing. It almost excludes travelers, people who just want to visit the country in when I think about it in that sense. But I don't know if it's that deep. I did notice what they were doing with shorts, and I thought we could probably speak to this a little bit. Some of the things they're doing in shorts, I don't know if they're necessarily keeping the typical shorts viewer in mind. So, for example, there is win a free Romanian session with me. I think that would be a really good post on a community tab, or as a long form video where you kind of put that in there, like, by the way, I'm giving away a free session. I don't know if I was scrolling on shorts and this video kind of popped up and it was you advertising this, I'd be kind of confused, right? Because a lot of people who find your shorts didn't ask to see them. YouTube Shorts just kind of tells you stuff. It's like you're just scrolling and it's like, how about this one? How about this one? And that's what you always have to keep in mind when making YouTube Shorts, is a lot of people don't get the chance to click on your video first. YouTube just presents it. So I think a really great use of your shorts, and it did look like you were doing this as well, is giving really cool things. Like, I would say, did you know that saying blank in Romania sounds like this? Or did you know that if someone says this, they're actually telling you this? I think did you know videos that take advantage of your expertise in this language could really stand out on shorts.
That tip of being thoughtful of who the shorts viewer is, of also the goal of reaching strangers on shorts. Again, people who don't know you, they don't have any context. I like that idea of, did you know, something that's humorous maybe, or something like that are funny Romanian words that maybe just are kind of shareable, or the way that phrase could be interpreted. 3 things, or like, if you say this way, like one way to anger a Romanian. If you say this way, and then somebody, like, they share it with their friends because they're like, yeah, that's so true. It's funny she's saying this because that would, like, make me upset, whatever. And so I think some good thoughts there. One last tip is, in addition to kind of cleaning up your channel, in a strategic week like this, doing some research about, you could call out your competition, but just doing some research about what other channels in your industry are doing is powerful. What kind of videos on their channels are doing well. And also it reveals the upside potential of your channel, because, this Learn Romanian channel here is got 43,000 subscribers. So it does show you there's a lot of opportunity for growth. It would seem that this also is, in my opinion, you know what you're doing, but it's verification of what you're doing.
Ever listen to?
It's English. to an English audience that then also eventually is teaching.
Just that. And picture this vocabulary section,
Romanian,
and
I guess.
picture the
Or
slideshow is set.
What is this? Advertising a product of some kind of a service here, but learn Romanian 4 hours. So I'm assuming
Want to know if your Romanian skills are improving?
Okay.
Fotografia.
Okay, great. So, I mean, this is what this would teach me, and this is good for any of us to do in any niche, is it's good to do some market research, because if you can discover other channels doing what you're doing that are having success and they have 100,000 subscribers, and the practicality of you growing to 10,000 subscribers in the next year is more verified. Alternatively, if you cannot find anyone else being successful, you're either on to the most brilliant idea, or you actually might want to pivot your plan, because there isn't, in business, we'd call this the TAM, the total addressable market. And in entrepreneurship, you'd call it testing for market viability before starting a business. So it's really just kind of researching your industry and then figuring out, of course, how you can be different and things like that. But great channel. Thank you so much for submitting that. If you are just joining, we are doing some channel reviews and some Q&A, and hit like. And we are doing some channel reviews from our Video Raking Academy. I also did a Twitter post. We're going to be on here for about another half hour doing some more and answering some Q&A. Marianne asks, how do I get the vidIQ trending tabs and stats icon on the channel bar? I had it, but now it's gone. So 2 things you could do to get that is number 1, you want to make sure you install vidIQ Vision on Google Chrome. That's what allows you to have these cool windows to get your daily ideas or your keyword inspector and all these cool vidIQ tools. Secondly, you want to make sure it's turned on, and then you want to make sure you're logged in. And then thirdly, you want to make sure that you might refresh. And then fourthly, sometimes when trending and stats doesn't show up, I've noticed that it may not be there on home, but it'll show up on videos. So if you're, and it'll still lead you to the exact same place. I think on Think Media, on home, I don't have it, but if I click videos, I've got my trending tab, and then I can pop in. And again, this is a powerful tool for looking at your competitors or other channels in your niche to see what type of videos are trending on their channel, or also to see the real math behind their channel. I mean, this is what in Think Media in the last month grew 30,000 subs and 4.5 million. So whatever you see up front, you can't really aggregate the data in your own mind. It gives you just some tools to say, okay, well, what is this channel doing and what can I learn from it? And so Gabriel says series could be batch content. Absolutely, you can. I've done many videos that way. In fact, sometimes when preparing a video, one of the best things you realize is this actually could be like 4 videos. So you start preparing it and you're like, oh man, I need to say this too. And if I say this as well, and you're planning on like Google Docs is where I plan, and I'd say this, and then I go, man, I'm going to be talking for 25 minutes. Maybe I could break this into 3 parts, because part 1 is it gives you 3 opportunities. Part 1 could kind of be this title, it ties into part 2, it ties into part 3. And then you go, all right, I'm going to sit down and record all 3 at once. And anything like that creates leverage. It saves you time. It saves you energy, because you're compressing. You don't just get 1 upload out of it. You get 3 uploads. It may take a little bit longer, but you have exponentially more impact from your efforts. And then, Dan, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. So a lot of people are seeing the opportunity right now with, movie review channels, even gaming content. They're essentially using OPC, other people's content. And so Free Lunch Carl's asking, how do I actually find video clips for TV shows and movies and not get copyrighted? Is there a website or an app? And what's your understanding about how are channels allowed to do this?
Well, certainly not legal advice. I don't claim to know the copyright system or laws very well. I just try and avoid it at all costs. But there is something known as fair use, and it's more of a defense. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're in court saying, well, fair use. But if you are using clips of this content, the idea is that it would be transformative, right? So you were asking where to get them. I think what most people do is they probably just screen record the clips they're trying to show. I don't know how else that's how I would do it. So if you're trying to do a movie review of Glass Onion from Netflix. You would pull up Netflix, you'd screen record the clips you want, and you'd put them in your video. You want to be transformative. You don't want to sit there and watch Glass Onion with your audience. You want to start and stop a little bit. You want to say, okay, look at this scene right here. Do you see what Daniel Craig is doing? That's actually a callback to the other movie. You know, you can dive deep on this stuff without getting into any kind of trouble, supposedly, if you're just careful to be transformative. You can't just take stuff and just use it. That's the idea.
Love it. Great point. And one of the big opportunities, even if you're not a YouTube automation channel or a faceless channel, I think the embracing of fair use, of course, even the reaction, you could call it a niche, but it doesn't have to be a niche or a niche. Any channel, if it's on brand for you, reacting to a news clip, reacting to somebody on a video podcast saying something, creating conversation, that is a big opportunity 2023 to be thinking about maybe trying a different content format. We actually narrowed down 16 different content formats. Answer specific questions is one. A react video is one. A whiteboard video would be one. And one of the biggest exercises to stretch and maybe break through a plateau in your YouTube journey is stretching yourself to do different content formats. If all you do is talking head videos, what if you did a narrated video that was over all B-roll? And so thinking about leaning into this fair use opportunity is big. Next up, we have my mentor, Jane, and very clear branding, very good avatar picture, very clean channel. This would be your new viewer, the first impressions video. So let's check this out.
Call me my mentor, Jane. I'm on the journey of life. Not the life I think I have to settle for or what other people think I deserve. I'm going for a good life where I'm fulfilled, fully alive, free, and filled with joy.
So this is cool. This is your channel trailer. It's cool because we're catching your vision. But here's a few things we could break down and things we could learn from. Not that I'm suggesting this even needs a reshoot or a rewrite, but for anybody who wants to create a channel trailer in 2023, or just learn some best practices about video, here's a few thoughts. First, I generally don't recommend starting with intros because people want to get straight to the point. It's not terrible, but again, this is taking time to get into it. Okay, Jane, who is Jane? My mentor, Jane. Cool. Hard to kind of read this, but it's clean. It's nice branding, music sets the mood.
Hi.
It took 11 seconds to get to the actual content. You might even throw that at the end, giving people the opportunity to jump off if they want, or go like, wow, she has cool branding. She has great skills. Now, I also think you are reading from a teleprompter here. It feels that way, and it's very natural.
I'm Jane Abate, and I hope you will call me my mentor, Jane. I'm on the journey of...
So here's thing two. I think that one of the things we talk all about is you want to talk a lot more about you than I. And so what can happen is, I know it's called YouTube because you believe it's your tube, and it is your tube, and you could do whatever you want, but that doesn't mean it's going to be successful. We've learned that the creators who are the most successful, they really put the viewer first. Now, you seem to be a mission-driven, service-driven, purpose-driven person. So I know that that's your goal. You want to mentor, you want to help people. But before people are interested in you, they're interested in themselves. So it's like, hi, I'm Sean. A better way to start your video and even a channel trailer is to be absolutely clear on what problem do you solve for the viewer, and to actually start by agitating those pain points or clarifying that they're in the right place. So I would typically open a video asking questions is one way I do it. And I'll be like, are you frustrated that your YouTube channel is just not growing? Have you been overwhelmed by trying to learn all the different YouTube features, and the technology? Well, if so, then this channel is for you. If you want to hit your first 1,000 subscribers and eventually get that silver play button, if you want to get your channel monetized and learn the best strategies for getting views, then you're going to love the content that we are posting here weekly for you. My name's Sean Cannell. I've been a mentor to creators, and so you'd be moving this piece deeper into the content and hooking the viewer by making that bond and that connection. And so a good audit you can do on not just your content and the way you open your videos, but even on the about page and the text that you write there is the I versus you test. And so it's how often are you talking about you? Welcome, my name is Jane. If you're curious about how to follow Jesus and live a good life, then you're in the right place. So that's cool. I think that could be powered up. It's certainly a desire for people that want to live out a Christian life. A good life is good, but I might even go, what I also like is when we say answer specific questions in a 2023 world, with the world being so noisy, it's nice. Specific means I want to learn the Bible. Specific means I want to learn apologetics so I can argue my faith. Specific, it definitely means like how to follow Jesus, but that is more general. Good life is super general. Not necessarily a bad macro brand, but where the opportunity becomes, this is why we say the riches are in the niches. When you niche down, you want to become the go-to channel for something specific. And actually, Hootsuite and HubSpot and Adobe did all these studies, and we just aggregated all of that content and trends. We'll link that video up in the description if you haven't watched it yet. It's really like our 2023 magnum opus. And one of the trends they even reemphasized is that age-old niche point of the internet. The riches are in the niches. That as there's more content, being more specific is even a bigger deal right now. And Zig Ziglar said, you don't want to be a wandering generality. You want to be a meaningful specific. So I think it's a great channel. I get the good life. I'm sure the people who you have 463 subscribers. Things are going incredible. You are amazing. You have great energy, your history. So you're really on the right track. I'm just trying to give you some power ups. We're definitely in the locker room right now. We're doing some coaching. I feel like you're winning the game, but it's halftime and we really want to make sure we really win, especially in this next year, so we're in the locker room having hard conversations. And so, you then go, of course, at a very practical stuff here. My workshop style videos equip you to build the right mindset, the right skills. So if you were framing that in the beginning, tackle challenges, this is now the specific stuff that I'm loving. And it would be interesting to say, okay, like, are you trying to figure out how to deal with the hardest issues in life in a Jesus-like way? Maybe you're overwhelmed with relationship conflict. Maybe you're experiencing pain or challenges. Like, the more nuanced you get into articulating the viewer's problem, the better. In fact, they say in business that the person who can articulate the problem the best wins. Like the customer the business that creates a product that can explain it the best. The business that understands the person's problem better than they do will build the biggest connection. So again, just a few things to power that up, and then I'll pass it to Dan here in a second. Let's watch a little bit deeper into this stuff.
Fully alive, free, and filled with joy. As your mentor, through these videos, I'll equip and encourage you with the mindset, skills, and habits that lead to a good life.
Now, and this is an interesting thing. I'm glad we're doing this, and it might be just as an opportunity of food for thought. I would imagine you're incredibly humble, and you seem very meek-spirited, which is amazing. But another thing, even in this, is the assumption of I'm already your mentor, which I'm not saying you're making that. But as we get into it, you're like, listen, as your mentor, and someone's just getting here, so they might be like, I don't know if you're my mentor yet, though. I mean, So I think as far as a little bit of positioning in regards to that as well is, here's how you do the same thing. Because don't get me wrong, like I when I communicate, when I make videos, I know my intent of what I'm trying to achieve. Because think about, I'm a YouTube mentor, but I don't want to make the assumption to just say, listen, I'm now your YouTube mentor. That's going to be a willful decision that the viewer makes. So what I might do is, instead of going so direct like that, I would say, I have been mentoring hundreds of women, thousands of women over the last 10 years. And I have developed, a unique process in helping them break through challenges and breaking through that. If you would like to start exploring that with me, then definitely subscribe. Does that make sense? So I'm not suggesting that you're jumping to that conclusion. And I understand your brand is my mentor, Jane. And I think that's all great. I love it. I love the vibe. But the same idea is kind of taking this more bridge building approach and considering where people are at in the journey when they're actually consuming and watching this video. Let's land the plane.
They've served me so well as a corporate executive, business owner, wife, sister, and so many other roles we play in life. I'm excited to share them with you.
Great.
Each video provides information and direction to help you with a challenge, problem, or opportunity in your personal life or career. But I go beyond that to provide practical ways you can apply the information to your situation.
Very good. So love it. And this is still, again, you're doing incredible here. But I hope that in fact, if you type yes, if you found any of this conversation helpful, if you're able to think about maybe your next videos or creating your channel trailer, those are just some kind of like distinctions that I think could take something good and make it great. As far as your topics and thumbnails and being on brand and having a clear channel, just seeing so many great things here, Jane. And I want you to feel encouraged. 3 uploads a week, a month rather, and we are seeing some growth. But of course, there's more opportunity here. So I'm curious, Dan, what are some of your thoughts for Jane?
So I'm looking at the channel trailer we just watched, and I'm looking at now this is the first I'm seeing of the actual videos, right? The titles, the thumbnails. We scroll down a little bit. I'm kind of curious to see what are some of the subjects that have been covered lately. How to break free from the comparison trap. Okay. If you're feeling ignored, overlooked, I think, and you touched on this a little bit, I think I would like to see these videos get a little more specific into the problems that you're obviously probably covering in these videos. I think you've gone a bit too general with the titles, and I don't know. I would be speaking to these just kind of they're so broad. I don't feel like they're targeting anyone specifically, and that's going to be a challenge, I think, for this channel, because I'm struggling to think of how I would reframe these videos as well.
That's a great point. And again, we say answer specific questions. I like the narcissist video, because that is a specific how to deal with narcissists. People have narcissists in their life. I might even, and to Dan's point, don't be afraid though to go really deep, because you kind of also gave yourself an out. How to deal with narcissists is very specific. And they're like, and everybody else that's difficult. So rather narcissist is deep enough. And so you could say, how to deal with narcissists when in your research phase. This is also, now we could dig even deeper. Not even necessarily just a narcissist, but is it a narcissist husband, mother, family member?
When someone you love.
Someone you love,
right, is a narcissist.
And so a how to deal with a narcissistic wife is, let's see here. We have this video over here, 9 ways to deal with a narcissistic wife, 12,000 views. How to improve a narcissistic relationship, 570,000 views. And then it's worth looking at, okay, once I'm locked in on the topic I want to share, researching where some of the other people are coming from and what are some of the other angles, not because of comparison. You're going to do your own style and you're understanding who you're wanting to reach. But that research could power that up, and rather just narcissists, it becomes incredibly personal. If I'm struggling with a family member, like a brother that I've now kind of discerned, or I really feel like they seem to be a narcissist, they have all the traits, it's really a frustrating relationship, then that particular video will leap off YouTube when I'm in that moment of pain and emotion and looking for answers. Now you have a video that doesn't just come out, but what are we after? We're after a video that serves anybody that's subscribed to you that might have that challenge, but it potentially can serve YouTube and viewers on the internet for weeks, months, and years to come if it ranks, if it pops off. And so as you hit those specific topics, that becomes a big opportunity to really have a video crush. And I would agree. And I want everyone to hear this as well. We just can't hit the answer specific part hard enough. Like when God says no, but you really want it, 2 powerful lessons. This is not necessarily, I think people can relate to that, people that are, active in a prayer life, but I like to hit really concrete stuff that that people are dealing with. It could be, that's like, okay, that's kind of it not ethereal, but concrete. And that's where Dan was going as well. So it could be like how to deal with divorce, how to begin understanding or studying the Bible, you know, apology fail, 4 reasons it falls flat and how to fix it. It's kind of okay, is that somebody that apologized? It's sort of confusing. If you confuse, you lose. Is this about how to apologize to someone who hurts you? And when we take something like this in a 2023 world, I think that titling, and I think Dan would agree, that's why vidIQ has created such great tools. It's not necessarily, look at this though, over text, deeply through text, marriage. And you start seeing that these are very specific desires that people have. This is your expertise as Jane, the mentor. And you start to dig deep into some of these, but you could take something that's basic from like the YouTube search bar here, and then you could take it over to AI title recommendations and maybe even see some more meat on the bones. 5 simple steps for apologizing to someone you've hurt. If that's in a video that inspires you, or that was the direction you were going with the video, this title is like 10 out of 10. I mean, that's the point of the tool. It's like, man, that slaps. Simple's good. How to apologize, exactly what the viewer would be looking for. I hit the refresh button here. So 5 easy steps on how to apologize to someone who hurts you. And then of course, you're like, well, I don't have 5 steps. Well, yeah, well then make it a 3. I mean, that's, you know, here's the 3 simple steps. So it's kind of just putting it into a context, and gives you different angles you could take here. So that's that's using the AI title recommendation tool. But I think one of the places you can start is by really thinking about what video do you want to make next. Maybe use the YouTube search bar or some of vidIQ's keyword research tools. Get kind of the concept down. Even study out a few of the other videos on YouTube in the topic. Think about your unique angle on it. And doing all this is why, Jane, I know you're a Video Ranking Academy member. This is why when you start mastering the first 2 R's in our 7R system, reverse engineer, who's this video for? Even though you know your channel now, but who is this video for? And to understand them, you know, what are they feeling? What are their problems and ambitions? Second, research. And research could involve what other videos are on YouTube, keyword research, researching title angles, because you're galvanizing the concept before you press record. Researching the information you're going to share from your past journals, from current new content, from recent articles you've read, from a Bible study that you're going through. And you're gathering all of these resources, putting that together, and also formulating your script or your outline. And now the unity of all the above makes the record phase a whole nother level, the release phase a whole nother level, the rocket and rank, you know, and the whole thing works together ultimately as a system. If you've been getting value out of this training today, we hope that beyond these channel reviews, you're getting a lot of tactics. Definitely watch the replay, because we've been sharing a lot of stuff. And today's video is also brought to you by vidIQ. If you want to try a 30-day trial of vidIQ's paid plan, it's just $1, vidIQ.com. Dan is a part of vidIQ. And Dan, are you able to show us this new tool that is coming out? Tell us a little bit about this cool new feature that you guys have.
Yeah, you can pull up my screen if you want. It's our new AI coach. This is an early preview of the AI coach. And just a fun fact before we dive into it, if you have a vidIQ account, period, end of story, you can try this out while it is an early preview. So all you need is a vidIQ account. You can go to app.vidIQ.com/chat and you can try it out. So think ChatGPT, but if it were trained as a YouTube coach. And so what I did earlier, Sean, I'm sorry, this is why I got distracted earlier. I was trying to think of a prompt for when we got to this point that would be fun and I wouldn't have to type it live. And so the prompt I'm giving it is, hello, I have a pet channel where myself and my 27 cats get into all kinds of hijinks, but I'm out of ideas for new videos. Could you help me come up with 5 new video ideas that I can do with my 27 cats? So you click that. It's going to take a second to think, and hopefully we will get 5 video ideas. Sure, I'd love to have you come up with some new creative ideas with you and your 27 cats. Can you zoom in
just a bit?
I can. No judgment from the AI bot, by the way, which I appreciate. So 1, cat obstacle course. Create an obstacle course for your cats to complete and time them to see who can come first. Cat stunts. Challenge your cats to do funny stunts like jumping over a toy mouse. Cat bathing, document the process of bathing 27 cats and their reactions. You can do a cat food taste test. You can do cat paw casting. Make a cast of your cat's paws and create unique artwork with prints. So yes, these can get very specific. So if you have 27 cats and you don't want to be judged for that, and you need some video ideas, I'd highly recommend this tool. It can do all sorts of fun things.
Amazing. So I love it because, of course, vidIQ, you guys just continue to innovate. It is not a static software and tool solution, but new tools for the new needs of a new year. And so, yeah, if you want to try out vidIQ, check out vidIQ.com/think. There is a link in the Facebook text, and there's also one in the YouTube description and show notes. And let's check out another question here. Would you recommend a specific trailer promotion video in 2023, or just use a trailer to feature your most popular video and update that regularly? Dan, what's your thoughts?
I was actually going to bring this up. I didn't want to start a controversy in the last channel we were looking at, but I was going to bring this up. I was going to ask you too. I personally am an advocate for taking your best work and making that the channel trailer. Part of that's out of laziness. I'm already working really hard on all the videos I'm making. Do I have to also sit down and make a very direct-to-camera video about what my channel's about? Or can I just kind of show you with what I think my best video is? And I've noticed that those videos tend to, I think, convert. One thing that we've found is that the subscribe button on the front page of your YouTube channel, the one with your channel banner and all that, that's the one people click the most. And I think it's because people, before they make that commitment to you, I'm going to be a subscriber of yours, they're trying to learn everything they can about you. So having a good channel banner, having a strong trailer that's a good demonstration of what your channel is about, and then having a nice layout for your channel, having the proper playlists there, your shorts if they're there, all of that is selling points for your channel. So my personal preference is to use your best video. But like the video we saw from Jane was also really good. There was a lot of thought that went into, I'm just going to tell people in 1.5 minutes what this is. And there was a lot to that. I think that is not invalid. At the end of the day, it might come down to personal preference. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on that, Sean.
So after giving her all of those details, what is interesting is I do agree with you. And I think that the distinctions for Jane are, and any video could be valuable. We do not have a channel trailer. So I'm right with you. Like I'm not out here advocating I would want to practice what we preach. And what we do is we go to our real-time views or the last 90 days on our channel and look at the videos that are most likely to convert subscribers or most likely to provide viewer satisfaction. And then the other lens I use is exactly what you said. It's like, what would be a good first impression? What would also be maybe more of a good starting point as opposed to deeper in the journey with our channel? And we recently updated what the video on Think Media that new subscribers see. I also just changed over Think Media podcast channel yesterday. And so the two options are not just the channel trailer, but also returning viewers, which might be something, what's a good follow-up video for them to see. And so I would agree with you. The one distinction I would say, to answer directly, I do not think it's going to save you time. I do not think you need to do it. The one distinction I would say is I think creating a story-based, value-based first impression video that also could stand on its own with the intent of it being a channel trailer is a good idea. To be clear, to be more specific, in our case with Think Media, and based on data, and one of our big 5 trends is vocalize your values. And it's not our opinion. Other brands, people want to follow brands that stand for something. So if you're actually looking to make a bond and not just get a view, if you're actually looking to go beyond views, vocalize your values. What does that mean? It would just kind of mean most videos, you're not going to necessarily share the mission and the vision of your channel. But if you could find a way to add value in a video, introduce the characters, that's a unique thing for us. We have multiple characters, Nolan, Omar, introduce what the channel is all about, add value in the video, and also vocalize our values. It's actually kind of an interesting thing because I recently did that in that trends video. And I got like 1 or 2 comments that actually got a little upset. Not even upset, but they're like, oh, you shared your values and your faith and we're not going to watch. We're out of here. Haha, gotcha. Turns out vocalizing your values is not true. And I was like, okay, well, let me read the rest of the comments. I have never gotten more comments on a video that said, wow, I really didn't know where you stand. And now I have a greater bond with you than ever before. See, what people are afraid is the two people that are going to be triggered by your values. But what you don't understand is you're not just getting views. When you vocalize your values, you might have 10, 50, 100 that now are ride or die with you for life. Somebody who's more on the surface of even understanding social media marketing and business doesn't understand that this is about raving fans. Classic business book. Super fans, new social media, Pat Flynn business book. And it's a lot more about, I think, especially in a noisy world, those that win are not just going to get shallow views and passive viewers. They're going to create greater depth. So to that end, I guess what I would be saying, Dan, is that, by the way, we have our work cut out for us. So we're actually we're always thinking about, we're probably overthinking it. We're thinking about it like, okay, so Nolan and Omar and Sean get together. We maybe show some of the other Think Media team, like how do we like add value and kind of tell our story and do make it somewhat narrative driven, and also then kind of share where we stand with a video that we would upload anyways, but then would essentially become our channel trailer. So that, and then I guess the final thing is, as the channel evolves, we realize that people don't even really know what Think Media does. And people don't just want to hear a story about you. So how do we weave that into an entertaining, but like the fact that we have a tech channel and a podcast channel and our Video Ranking Academy course, that also has all happened in the evolution of doing this now for 7 years and me doing it for like 10 years previous to that. So it depends on where you are in the journey. And we just realize, okay, how can we tell our story not in a way that people don't even really actually care unless you make them the hero of the story, frame it around what value they'll get from the channel. So that might be a more sophisticated way of thinking about putting something out there. Dan, I'm curious about your thoughts on some of that.
I think building that kind of bond with an audience can definitely be very, very, very powerful. And it really just depends on, what your goals are. You might find that if you do certain things, it can alienate some of your audience, that they might not love that. If you're not comfortable doing that, there's no rule book there. You can choose to kind of play it straight. But if you want to put more of yourself out there, I've definitely seen that like benefit people as well. I don't know if there's necessarily like a right or wrong way, just on that one topic.
Yeah, and when I say vocalize your values too, not all values are actually going to be as your value could just be freedom in the creator economy. Your value could be,
right,
we want to plant trees. And so in addition to entertaining, and I think it's a powerful thing to just think about, though, that people are looking for more depth and more connection. And so I'm excited to talk about that more. We got one more channel to review, Avidian Smith, and Machine Tips and Hacks. Machine? Is that how you spell machine? With an S? Is machine a particular? So I've been making beats ranging for video game samples, soul sampling, dubstep, chill step, and sampling lo-fi and boom bap. Amazing. FL Studio, Native Instruments, great. On this channel, you can expect to see, I love this list and I love the emojis because I actually scan past in a way this block of text, and it's like, just make it simple. You can expect beats, tutorials, YouTube tips for music producers. And so it's great, really clear. Let's dive into some of the videos here. This is another cool new YouTube feature to notice, is that when you are using playlists intelligently, he has made a playlist called Native Instruments and Machine Tips and Tricks, and that aggregates this series all into one playlist. Well, now YouTube is making that a clickable feature right next to the views, the upload time. And so for anybody that maybe wants to go really deep in that, and I guess I'm assuming that Machine spelled with an S is either a brand for you, or that's actually what a product name is.
I think it's a product. I think it's software.
The Machine plus. Okay, got it. Great. And then cool to see that you're doing live streaming, or you have one scheduled, or is that a premiere scheduled? The notify me. Premieres. Okay, so you're using premieres there. Cool. And so what are your thoughts, Dan?
Yeah, this is really strong especially for a music channel. This can be a very tough spot on YouTube, and I'm seeing some really cool stuff, a lot of value-driven content. I said software earlier. It looks like the machine might be hardware actually, and that's really cool because there's a lot of different devices and a lot of different things that musicians could probably benefit from. It's kind of like our space with cameras and different tech that we use for making videos. You're going to find that musicians need certain, reviews of products they're looking for. So this is excellent because you are, you're just getting into this space where there's obviously a market for it. And I think this is a pretty good, well-rounded music channel. This is a display of expertise, and I think this is going to help them go really, really far.
One of the things just that I've learned is the most practical path to success on YouTube is making utility-based videos. And in comparison to what? In comparison potentially to entertainment. And entertainment could be music, because that's predicated on people's like or dislike of the music. It also could be how saturated something is. And so this is one of your, it would seem. I think the other piece, though, is, and so tutorial-based videos, the reason I say that is, if I'm you, some of the initial videos I'm making, and probably the first 100, and then I'd probably follow up with the next 900 videos, would be videos like Machine MK3 tutorial for beginners, and nuancing maybe more down on that. But when I look at 134,000, 122,000, and 11,000, as a new channel, the practicality of you getting 1,200 views around, 2023, because by the way, these people have not had the time. No one's had the time yet to do a 2023 video. So like updated for 2023, maybe because a firmware update has come out, and jumping on that utility-based, tutorial-based content. And then you've got a zillion other distinctions. So, how to sample, how to make beats versus the plus, if you got both, how to integrate Ableton in it. And so these, again, go back to really answer specific questions, teach specific skills, lots of affiliate opportunities, and all of the above. But the final thing I'll say is it's kind of a strategic question. One of the challenges on YouTube is asking yourself, why are people subscribing? And so if people are subscribing because of this beat, and why are they listening to this? Why are they watching to this? Are you selling this? Is it just for them to listen to? So they're just listening to this to enjoy it. This is maybe a part of a playlist of lo-fi chill music that they're listening to while studying. Well, if that's bringing in subscribers, then my argument would be 99% of them aren't probably wanting to make lo-fi music. They're wanting to listen to lo-fi music. In a business world, you could say this is the difference between B2B and B2C. B2B would be, I want to start a beat making business, even if it's just a hobby. B2C is, I don't want to start a beat making business. I want to listen to beats. You're building both on the same channel. I think that's okay, but you play that out to its extreme, it can kind of confuse the algorithm, because if you put a lot of lo-fi playlists out and different things, then you're just not going to get clicks on the tutorial-based videos as much. So if you really niche down in terms of you've got the beats themselves versus the tutorials, I don't know if you should ever really combine. If possible, you should avoid combining B2B and B2C. It's two different channels typically. And I'm also not necessarily YouTube tips for music producers, beats, and we've seen it played out with lots of beats only channels. And then the tutorials, the tips, and the motivation for producers. This is like a channel, and the beats is like a channel. Mm-hmm. So just a thought. I think you'll still be fine if you keep going the same direction. But then alternatively, if you go heavy on the tutorials, that's maybe even, I would lean heavier on the tutorials. I think there's more monetization opportunities there. It's more practical to kind of grow. You also don't even need to grow that large to have a significant impact and even significant income. What's cool about the beats is that these subscribers, this is showing off that you know what you're doing. It is showing off that, it's proving and being a player coach and actually doing the thing. But that'd be a thought that I have in terms of, I think you have unlimited opportunity by doing these types of videos on how to hack and chop samples, and being just thoughtful about your 2023 strategy about who is your channel for, what did they subscribe for. And I know we all break these rules. Listen, I know we break the rule at Think Media, because if we do a Final Cut series, for example, anybody who doesn't use Final Cut Pro won't click on that, nor would they want to watch it. So I know that at some point there is the rule, and you may break it, and you may break it thoughtfully, but the goal is to never upload a video your subscribers didn't subscribe for. So understanding why are people subscribing, what videos are attracting subscribers, are they truly attracting the subscribers I want? And am I really having two audiences on one channel that are getting confused? I think being thoughtful of that can be really helpful. Dan, let's land the plane with a couple questions here. Hit like if you got value today. We had an hour blocked, but we're at an hour and 36 minutes. If you've been getting value, in fact, let me know what has been your greatest aha moment. We are action takers here at the Think Media Podcast. Share an aha moment in the comments of what is something you need to do next. What is something you need to work on in your channel? Is it winter cleaning on your channel? If you're in Australia, is it summer cleaning on your channel? Is it time to work on your next video? Or what did you like best that stood out that you're going to implement next when it comes to your YouTube channel? And we're going to pull up one or two more questions here. Heather said the 8 seconds, get to the value quick. Start using the pinned comment, simple little details. And once you develop that habit, thanks for sharing that, Shania, is simple little details. Eventually they become like just tying your shoes. Like you just get used to it. You know, it's like put the hat on, put on the weird space sweatshirt, tie my shoes, turn on my lights. I'm ready for the live stream. Marianne, yes, summer cleaning of my channel. Is it you're in the UK, right? Is it summer in the UK because it's winter here in Seattle? Let me know. Let's see. Circle says, for me personally, got to get that second long form posted and the trailer posted. Amazing. Time to spruce up the channel, Tiffany. Cheers. Sending you holiday greetings and New Year's greetings. Australia. Yes. I wish I was there in the sun on the beach, not in the rain in the Northwest in overcast weather. I need to go take my vitamin D supplements because my mood is crashing faster than FTX. All right. Australia in the place here. All right. Let's answer a couple more questions as we land the plane today. Okay. All right. Twitter is looking for a video to be done on their platform. What contents would work on that platform? Dan, thoughts on Twitter stepping into the video game?
Yeah, this is interesting. It's funny because months before the big acquisition, I was noticing a push on video as well, and I was finding myself clicking on those videos. And similar to YouTube Shorts and TikTok, I think, and I'll just speak from like a personal experience. I like really quick, bite-sized pieces of content that are just going to entertain me. Like if I'm on Twitter, it's likely I'm trying to get a quick fix of something, whether it's just to laugh or maybe I'm trying to get updated on some news. So it's kind of like the same as YouTube advice, right? Be thinking about the audience that you're trying to cater to on Twitter. Be thinking about the broader audience on Twitter and why they might be using the app at that time. And if you tend to cover news or anything like that, maybe it's making a video that's just covering a trending topic. And on Twitter, that's home of trending topics, right? There's a whole section for it. If you have thoughts or opinions on something that's currently trending, get your phone out, get a video done as fast as you can and get it posted. What I don't know will work or not, because I don't know much about this, but could you make like a searchable video that gives general tips and tricks like DIY, things like that on Twitter? I don't know. I don't know if they really have a search algorithm that would cater itself to that. So I'd really focus on like the here and now if it was me and start testing there. But I say this as someone who's a layman. I've not tried to post videos on Twitter before. So I would love to know from other people out there who've tried this, what's worked and what hasn't.
That'll be interesting to watch and see how Twitter evolves. Anything Elon does is for sure entertaining. Facebook user says, and I open up the other screen, so I see you, Dustin, over in our group. By the way, if you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, you can approve it so that we can see your avatar over here. But I love this question. So when sharing your values, should I also share about being a veteran, or is that something that pushes people away? If it's relevant for the channel, I think you absolutely should. One, thank you for your service. Two, I want to encourage you to not be afraid of pushing people away. Three, we're not talking about forcing your values into content just for the sake of doing it. As a Christian, for example, one of the things that's funny is I do think that businesses that are like overly Christian, they're like, I'm a Christian plumber. I'm like, I didn't even know that's possible. What do you mean? Like, you're just a plumber. Now, you might have values and ethics, but if you go overboard, so like we don't do like Christian camera reviews. You know what I mean? So it's like you wouldn't need to do like veteran camera reviews. But I think what we're talking about here is the reason this is so powerful is, Simon Sinek did the talk Start With Why. People, it's not what you do or how you do it, but why you do it that really builds movements and builds bonds. So what you do, well, everyone's got a tech channel. How you do it, well, MKBHD does it in 4K with a red camera. Well, Sean does it with my weird style, and I do StreamYard web class webinars with decks when I teach YouTube tips. Like your how can be different, your music choice, your style, the way you talk, your vibe. So what is usually pretty common of a level, that's a distinction though. How, that's also like your unique flavor, your unique style, some different, the way you get it. There's different YouTube channels that maybe do the same what in a different way, but why you do it is really what bonds people to you. And people like to follow people with shared beliefs, and people like to follow people with shared values. So again, we are, like, you think about Think Media, it's a wide open channel with all kinds of a diverse following, but the people who follow us at the deepest levels typically come pretty close to a values alignment. And when your values, I would imagine as a veteran, as somebody who loves your country, who loves freedom, of somebody who has high ethics, high character, of somebody that cares about family and cares about fighting for people's rights, I think that weaving that stuff into your content just makes it all the more powerful. Furthermore, if you being a veteran offended somebody, good riddance, please unsubscribe. I think having the boldness to just realize that there should be a level of fearlessness and courage when you truly know who you are and you truly know where you stand, and you also realize how big the world is. You shouldn't be afraid of people unfollowing, unsubscribing, even insulting you or putting you down for your values and beliefs. First of all, anyone who would insult someone for their values and beliefs, you really don't want them subscribed anyways. So I actually think raising your standards, articulating your values, and being bolder about what you believe, if that polarizes people away from you, good. And on the flip side, I don't think it's about being weird or trying to be overly offensive. It's when these things would come up naturally in conversation, and many videos they probably wouldn't. Although you might tie it in, and that's I think the key. You're still putting the viewer first and thinking about what is actually going to add value to the viewer. There is no reason for me to do a Christian camera review. You know what I mean? It just doesn't even make sense. I want to do the best camera review ever, the best, whatever. And then I might invite somebody at the end of the video to be like, I also have a podcast where we share YouTube tips. And then on the podcast, I'm only going to share YouTube tips. But then I might go into an episode where we talk about our mission and vision. And there's different contexts for different rooms where different things come up. And so I hope that helps, Dustin, in terms of just being thoughtful of what room are you in, what's going to add value to the viewers. But again, thank you for your service. And if anybody's offended by you serving and fighting for your country, peace. We never wanted you here anyways, for real. And so the gaming mom, this one's for Dan. Any idea why shorts have taken directly from my content are slow on views? And Dan, I've heard a lot of people ask this. To be clear, as I tee this up, you can look at like an old video, use the feature on your phone, pull content out of a horizontal landscape video, turn it into a YouTube short. And a couple of complaints I've seen is actually that even the resolution can be kind of janky. It also crops, so that can be kind of weird. But Dan, what's been your experience here?
Yeah, I've tried that a couple times, and I'll tell you what I struggle with the most using that particular feature. It's context. It's really, really hard to take a live stream, for example, find a clip in there that has all the context a brand new viewer would need without having to have watched the live stream. And on a deeper level, I've also noticed that if I take clips from the live stream, and let's say I do it myself, right? I set up what's called a replay buffer. If you use OBS, it's very easy to do. And every time something funny happens in my gaming stream, I hit the button and it saves a clip on my hard drive where I can go back and edit that into a video. So now I have control. YouTube's not compressing my video. I have a nice clean clip to play with. So I get to stitch in all the context I want in my shorts. And even that, I've noticed, doesn't do nearly as well in shorts than if I sit down and make a video intentionally for YouTube Shorts and nothing else. It wasn't a live stream before. It wasn't a long form video. I made it for them because now I have all the control. I have from start to finish the entire context of what they're going to watch in my brain. And so it's going to come out of my head and onto a vertical video that is 20 to 30 seconds long. And I always find those videos doing better. And it's because I'm able to plan them out so much easier. So barring that, let's say you're like, but I want to take clips from my long form videos. I want to take clips from my live streams, add to them. Go in afterwards, get in front of that clip and say, I was playing blank and you'll never believe what happened. And then let the clip roll. So that way, if I'm scrolling through shorts and I find your video that I did not ask to watch because YouTube thought I might like it, and I find that video, I'm being told immediately, this was during something else. I was not there for something, but you're telling me, hey, I know you weren't here for this, but check this out. You'll never believe what happened in this game. Look at this amazing kill that I got. Look at this amazing catch I got in this fishing game. Like that's what people need, I think, is that context.
Brilliant answer. That's not my favorite feature. My favorite way to do it is like start from first principles and create the content originally, agreeing with Dan there. Dan, we got a question about vidIQ. And by the way, friends, today's video is brought to you by vidIQ. Right now, you can actually get a 30-day trial of one of vidIQ's paid plans for just $1 at vidiq.com/think. But one of our VRA fam asked, how can we upgrade? If you try to upgrade, the site won't let me. I get an error on a paid plan. And so there's different plans, correct? There's your boost plan, your max plan, your pro plan. Any tips on this?
You shouldn't be having that issue. If the upgrade button is not working, that sounds like a customer support issue, unfortunately. So support@vidiq.com. They should get back to you very quickly. It is the holidays, so maybe response times are a tad slow. I don't know how the team is right now in terms of vacations and stuff, but they will get back to you. That should not be happening, and I apologize for that. Because there's no reason I can think of that would be happening.
Yeah, and if you are logged into the web app.vidiq.com, I don't know if you're doing it that way. You're properly logged in. I'm logged in as our Think Media channel right here. We also have Nolan's channel and Think Marketing, Think Media Podcast now, our Video Influencers channel. So if you're logged in and you go to app.vidiq.com/plans, go to upgrade, should work. But yeah, definitely reach out to support if you need help with that. Well, Dan, I want to thank you so much for being a part of the stream today. Really appreciate you and grateful for you. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and any final word for our community?
Yeah, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. It's been awesome. I think this has been a really crazy year on YouTube in a good way. YouTube I said this yesterday, it's literally unrecognizable because they physically did change the website. But even things they've added to YouTube in just this past year make me so excited for what comes next in 2023, because they kicked off the year with a video like, hey, there's a lot of changes coming in 2022, and they stuck to it. And month after month, we were getting update after update. And so as someone who loves live streaming, as someone who loves making shorts, and as someone who loves making videos, they're hitting it. They're firing all cylinders, and they're hitting us from all directions with different types of content. Community tab for everybody now. Like whatever kind of content you want to make, you can make it all here, and it's only going to get better. So I'm just really excited about the future.
Dan, appreciate you and agree. It's been a wild year and super excited for 2023 on YouTube. All the data is pointing to this next decade is going to be the best decade on YouTube. There's so much growth, there's so much opportunity. And that's the point of this channel, is to help you win and help you grow on YouTube. We're on a mission to help 10,000 purpose-driven people create a full-time living, doing what they love while making a difference in the world with YouTube and online video. And I want to encourage you, if you have not seen, oh, by the way, Video Ranking Academy, I know we were streaming this into the group as well. Every month we do this in the group there. So go to the events tab and look at the next one to make sure that's scheduled and you have set a reminder so you could be a part of that. Or we do channel reviews and video reviews. We do it at least once a month in the group there. And so I look forward to seeing if you're in our Video Ranking Academy to see you inside. If you are not subscribed to the Think Media podcast, definitely subscribe. New episode coming out tomorrow that you're not going to want to miss. Of course, it's on all the audio platforms as well as video. But we have, I recently did the 5 big trends to know about on YouTube in 2023. It's a little bit more concrete than predictions. It is really research. I spent about 40 hours of research gathering all this information from different experts, as well as our data at Think Media. So click or tap the screen to watch that video next. My name is Sean Cannell, Rhymes with YouTube channel. Appreciate you so much. Happy New Year, and we will talk soon.